Welcome! You like that? Welcome to the virtual lunch. Today is Wednesday, June 10th. Wow, this is virtual lunch number 63. Michael Grupp.
I'm the CEO and co-founder of BRYTER. We're a no-code automation company out of Germany, have an office in London, and are soon coming over to New York.
Alex.
I'm CEO and founder of a company called Archii. We do algorithms to extract data and do classification of documents. And we just signed and closed the transaction to sell the company to a not a competitor, but someone in the same space with services that are pretty similar, and there are some really good combined effects of the two products. But yeah, looking for something new.
The easy way to describe BRYTER is really architects have AutoCAD. So if they design bridges and houses, they use AutoCAD to draw that digitally. Graphic designers have Photoshop to design and build something digitally. And everybody who's working with rules, lawyers, compliance experts, data privacy officers, tax consultants, everybody who applies policies on a professional level has no tool set. And BRYTER is that tool set. So you can build a digital app in a couple of hours. You can build it fast and easy. You don't have to code for that. So you can really log in and do it yourself. So we help these people to turn their thinking that is like a mental model into something tangible and deliver that. So either sell that or just run it somewhere or give access to it. KPMG built the loan assessments for the COVID aid using BRYTER, right? So if you had SME companies applying for loans, they were sending 10,000 of requests to German banks who were inundated with that number of applications, and then you needed to build a check process, right? And credit check process, anti-money laundering process, plausibility checks on the company house, and you needed to build this within days, basically. And that's what KPMG did using our software. So you can
Tell us about Archii.
Wanted to be able to read and understand documents automatically. So using the software to go through your contracts or your presentations or similar to understand what was actually in the document. So the thought originally was to build data rooms in M&A transactions automatically. So basically you would scan your emails and your drives, and we would find every document you needed for the data room and put it in a structure for you. We then built the classification engine and started thinking about use cases, because we knew that use cases would be a challenge for us. We would probably go too broad in the beginning, which we did. And then GDPR came around, and we were looking at a product where we were building our use case and thought, okay, we're already reading all your documents, which per definition is very unstructured data. So if you don't have a product like BRYTER or similar where you can actually build an interface that does NDAs automatically or similar, then most people are sitting in Word, turning it perhaps into a PDF, perhaps printing it and scanning it again. So it becomes very unstructured data, and we wanted to extract personal data from these documents. So we built the GDPR product, and we've been selling that for the last 18 months, I would say.
Was entering the US more challenging than you may have expected?
Definitely way more expensive than we expected. And then we hadn't planned for the customization that we would have needed to do in order to make a big change in the US market. We could have tried with the existing product. I'm pretty certain that would have been a failure, and we basically didn't want to invest that much product development as well as a lot of money in actually selling the product.
So we actually had raised a seed round last summer, autumn. So we had raised a bit above $6 million as a late seed round. We were at the time, I think 40 people, maybe going towards 50, and then added another 30 by the end of 2019, and we had just a very, very strong year 2019 and a great first quarter. And then COVID happened. We always had planned to come to the US. Like, it's, first of all, it's the biggest software market, but it's not just the biggest one, it's the most sophisticated one. You're extremely educated. You just know what you want. It feels like people know exactly how things should be working, and then they expect that from the software. But then also you have processes in place for many things. You just more natural in working with software. which is very different in Europe and even more different in Germany. Like really, this is, if you try to sell software in Germany, this is tough. Like people like cash, people like letters, people like fax machines. Since we had such a good quarter in the first part of 2020, people almost offered us money. Like people were saying, if you want to go to the US, use the time now, do it. And that's when we decided to do a funding round. But then already we had a network of investors. We knew we had a network of investors through our existing investors. So I think I spent all of April in Zoom. And then the last week of April and the beginning of May closed the round. There's one shift in the funny eternal lawyer versus non-lawyer thing that is going on, that suddenly the law firm and even very, very crucial operations, same goes for legal departments, like many vital parts actually depend on the non-lawyers, tech people, the people who were basically, sometimes even seen as librarians, and suddenly are the people who actually pull off the processes and run that. We've seen that a lot from people who now had received a lot more recognition, value, and were part of the strategic discussions about how to handle the crisis. And that also meant that they were also bringing in their tech stack and kind of could open the weapon chamber and kind of offer what they had and show what was there. And people from the business side and partner level were actually interested in a lot of the things that the law firm could already do. So we saw the engagement levels going up. We saw many people of our customer side who were actually already leveraging tech and using tech suddenly being really valued at the firm and being able to show what they had. So in that crisis, tech was highlighted as one of the core elements as a surviving and a success strategy, and that was super valuable for the innovation tech department.
So you're saying that this crisis has elevated the professional roles within law firms and law departments?
Yeah.
I've been in Copenhagen for most of this, but what we can see here is that, so there are mass firings in Copenhagen as well, in law firms, but it is mainly non-fee earners. All the service employees, it is reception, it is administrative personnel it is personal assistants. But to me, it's quite clear that optimization of whatever you're doing in a law firm is key in the next 12 months. And legal tech is a crucial part of that. So if you can make fee earners focus more and be more productive and billing more hours, basically, or more efficient hours, then you can really have a position in the market.
But the existing customers used the software significantly more. The existing tech was leveraged more, but you would maybe slow down on buying something new in that time. And then on the marketing side, the big, I think, overall enterprise SaaS strategy shift that everybody was talking about was to go from top-down sales to bottom-up motions, where you could have people use free trials and hand out the software for free and have them play around with it more, because people had more time in front of the computer, were more at home. And also you wanted to have motions where you give access to what you're offering, and that was a big motion. Alex, how hard was it? This is like the riskiest time to ever to sell a company. So on a scale from 0 to 10, like Strava suffer scores.
We were already in talks during January, February. We're, of course, worrying about, will this then not close because their situation will become worse, and this stalled completely in March, April, May. So we were, of course, very worried about them pulling out of the deal. But it was fairly relaxed. Everybody was quite happy about it. We celebrated on Monday with both teams. We put a lot of effort into showing it in a way that they could see they could use it in their own business. We knew this was a technology transaction. We knew that our customers would only be a very small part of why they were buying us. They were mainly buying us because of our training sets. But being confident that we would be able to supply or deliver on this, the salesperson in me, of course, tried to tell them the story that they wanted to hear. That's what it's all about when you're selling the product or when you're selling the business.
Alex, Michael, nicely done. Virtual lunch.
Thanks.
I just want to say thank you to you both. Thanks to everyone for joining today.